Welcome to this Wisdom Wednesday. This week I've got a special guest with me here. This is my youngest daughter here. She is 1.5 and 19 months actually today. And so we want to talk about Wisdom Wednesday. Several years ago, I think it was back in 2012. You can smack the desk too. Back in 2012, I was reading the book of Proverbs, and I came across the proverb that says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." And that verse really jumped out at me that day, and it got me thinking about what does that really mean? And a lot of people think about inheritance, we think about money, but what I started thinking about was what would be even more valuable to pass on to my kids and hopefully their kids one day would be wisdom. To how do you live a good life? How do you live what I call an abundant life? If you haven't seen it yet, I've got this picture of the Abundant Life Blueprint. You can go to danielfoley.net to see that picture. But how do you build a good life? So it started with my wife, Trisha, working on compiling manuals for things like, well, how do you have great health? How do you do good in your finances? How do you, pursue your purpose and build a business, have a good family? How do you create a balanced life? How do you get connected with God? And I started working on, manuals and information and wisdom that I would want to pass on to my kids, and started compiling those things. And at first, when I got started, I was like, I have no idea what to tell them on some of these areas. I don't know what to pass on to them. But over the course of the years now, it's been about 6 years of just studying and learning and looking for new strategies and things like that in different areas. I've got some good things that I would like to pass on to them now in all the different areas of life. But when it all comes down to it, there's some main goals that I really would like to pass on to my kids. And I feel like for the Wisdom Wednesday, these would be good goals for everybody, whether it's you or you want to pass them on to your kids. The first one is growth, both mental and emotional growth, is to pass on a mindset of trying to continually grow and to get better and to mature mentally and emotionally, and to continue to refine our mindsets and to pass on some principles for success in the areas of mindset. You're gonna wiggle? You're gonna wiggle? That's number one. It's a mindset of just continually growing all the time. And then underneath that, I've got three kind of sub-goals that we break it into. Is number one, we want them to be self-sufficient. So we want this little one here to get to the point where she can do things on her own. She can walk on her own, she can go to bed on her own, she can brush her own teeth, she can eat her own food. Eventually getting to the place where she's an adult, where she can do things on her own. She's financially free. She knows how to take care of her health. She knows how to take care of her family. She knows how to do all these things. She's self-sufficient. What she's learning to get that self-sufficiency, I believe that's developed through our spiritual life of getting connected with God. He leads us to this place of where we're getting more and more self-sufficient through getting to know Him. Now, the second part of this is we want her to know her purpose. We want her to be doing good work, to know what her purpose is, what she's supposed to be doing in life, and doing good work and fulfilling that purpose. And she's got a sense of direction in her life. And then finally, we want her to be contributing to others, making a difference for other people in this life. So using her gifts and her talents and her purpose, whatever that may be, to make a difference for other people in this life. You're going to climb up on the table, aren't you? Yeah, is that you're going to talk to him? So we want those three things. We want a mindset of continual growth, where we're getting more and more self-sufficient, where we know how to take care of ourselves, we know how to take care of our health, we know how to take care of our finances, we know how to have a good family life, we know how to get our life in balance. We know all those things. We're having a sense of purpose and direction, where we know what we're called to do and we're good at it. We're really good at whatever work we're called to do, and then finally we're contributing to others. Those are the three goals that I typically break them into. And then underneath that, we've got the other areas of like health and finances and those types of things as well. But I thought those would be a cool thing to share, since I had Raina with me today, of different ways that we think about what would be the wisdom or the knowledge that we want to pass on, as she's climbing all over the place here today. But I hope this helps, and we will see you next week on Wisdom Wednesday.